Spurgeon here with RevZilla TV to talk to you today about the Sargent World Sport Adventure Touring Seat available at RevZilla.com. If you are watching this video, chances are you are currently riding a small to mid-level displacement dual sport motorcycle, and you are unhappy with the comfort that came with your stock seat. Sargent has you covered. They have a wide variety of products for the small to mid-level displacement dual sports that are going to give you more comfort over that stock flat seat. What I will say is make sure you're using the bike finder because all these Sargent seats are bike specific. As long as you get the seat that matches up perfectly with your motorcycle, however, installation is going to be a breeze. On our Beard scale of difficulty for install, a Sargent seat is really less than a 1. It's really just a hard week's worth of scruff. You've been on vacation, you come back into the office, and the boss is looking at you and telling you to shave. That's what we're talking about here. We're going to talk more about installation at the end, but for right now, what I want to get into is what sets the Sargent World Sport Adventure Touring Seat apart from other seats out on the market. Sargent has been manufacturing motorcycle seats since the mid-1990s. However, they got their start much earlier than that. They have been reupholstering automotive and marine seats since the early 1930s, and they've got years of quality that they put in the development of their motorcycle seat lineup. Their attention to detail in the development of the actual covering itself is where I want to start with this. Sargent is going to use a carbon FX vinyl. It's going to be UV resistant, it's going to be mildew resistant, it's going to be pretty much waterproof. This seat is bulletproof. It's going to handle whatever adventure you're going to throw at it. The attention to detail in the piping and the stitching is impeccable, and if you turn it around to the front here for me, the front of this seat is actually felt lined. So even though you're going to be out there crashing and holding your bike and wrecking into rocks with your dual sport riding, the Sargent seat is not going to be the one that's going to damage your tank. That's up to you. Underneath the actual carbon FX vinyl covering is what sets the Sargent seat apart from others out there. They don't use a gel to give you comfort. Gel is heavy and it's also going to absorb heat. They use what they call a supercell atomic foam. It's a proprietary foam they've developed in-house. It's going to be light. It's going to act almost as a second suspension for your motorcycle. Where they give you the comfort is how they actually design the shape of the foam. They're going to use what's called a dished out design. It's going to be higher on the sides, it's going to push down in the middle, and it's going to come up on the other side. So it gives you like this scoop to evenly distribute the weight on your butt. Where a stock flat seat is going to give you a pressure point right in the middle of your butt, this evenly spreads the weight out and it allows you to ride for hours in the saddle without being uncomfortable. Chances are on a motorcycle, if you're a dual sport rider, you're going to be standing up a lot of the time anyway, but you don't have to with the Sargent seat. The piping is going to go all the way back, so while they do say that this seat is available and great and comfortable for 2 people, I would say this is probably going to be more of a one single application with maybe a dry bag thrown in the back. So again, the shape of this is going to add to the comfort, and even though it's not the most comfortable seat for your passenger, it's definitely going to be more comfortable than a stock option. What I'd like to do now is flip it over, and I want to take a look at the bottom. The seat pan, they're going to use an acrylic alloy blend. It's going to be nice and light while still giving you a nice, rigid, strong design. The CAD system that they use in-house to develop this is going to be a digital model of your exact seat. So what that means for you is this is going to be an exact replica. This is going to be exactly the same as your stock seat. This is off of an F800 GS. And on the bottom of an F800 GS seat, they have a little toolkit cut out. And you can see Sargent actually has that exact same little toolkit cut out. This is an exact model. This is going to bolt right on. They do add a little document folder over here. So if you want to throw a passport, registration, insurance cards in here, you can do that as well. But that's really the only change that they make. Because this is a digital model of your stock seat, it's going to make installation a breeze. Like we talked about at the beginning on our Beard scale of difficulty for installation, this is really less than a 1 out of 3. As long as you know how to take your stock seat off, you can install a Sargent seat. It's that simple. It's probably in some cases going to fit even nicer than your stock seat because it's over designed to fit, and the attention to detail that Sargent puts in this is absolutely awesome. I like Sargent seats. I've spent a lot of time on Sargent seats. The only thing that I will say is that, again, this is labeled as a 2-up seat, and there's really no cutouts here for your passenger's legs. This is going to be a really stiff piping, so over time, even though this is going to be more comfortable than the stock option for your passenger, this is going to add the discomfort. I would say this seat really excels as a solo seat. You're going to throw a dry bag on the top. I could take this out for any of my solo treks, my solo adventures, and just tear it up on this seat, ride it all day long, and have no issues. But My opinion is not the only one in town. What I'd like you to do for me right now is click below. I want you to read what other riders are saying about their Sargent seats, whether they like it, whether they don't like it, whether they find it comfortable. And if you have a Sargent seat in your bike, please leave us your feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and so would the rest of the people on the internet. If you have more questions for us here at RevZilla specifically, give us a call, 877-792-9455. We'll get you on the phone with the Gear Geek. And as always, you can shoot us an email, cs@revzilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this conversation about the Sargent World Sport Adventure Touring Seat. I'm Spurgeon. You enjoy the ride.